Back when I was just a baby teenage magician, I had a friend who was a clown with Ringling Brothers. And when I asked him about his time there, the main thing he always wanted to talk about were the elephants. Well, also weird clown groupies who come to the circus and try to seduce clowns, but those stories were neck and neck with elephant stories. He told me about how elephants were the smartest, kindest, loveliest animals he'd ever interacted with. They would remember people by name and by face, they would willingly help out as needed, and they understood music cues way better than their human coworkers. Those stories, somewhat ironically, were the impetus for my first realization that elephants were too amazing to be put to work in circuses. Since that time, I and humanity as a whole have learned so much more about elephants. Like, they're one of the very few animals on this planet to have rituals around death. They honor the bones of dead elephants that they don't even know. They can use tools, they can paint pictures, they can play instruments, they can even mimic sounds, including human words. And in these ways, they're a lot like humans. They even have a brain with a complex neocortex, just like us. Unfortunately, none of that seems to matter to the Trump family. Eric and Donald Trump Jr. have slaughtered several animals, or at least they've posed with the corpses of several animals that may have been killed by a well-paid tour guide. That includes an elephant whose tail they sawed off and held up triumphantly. In a way, it's understandable that they don't relate to these majestic creatures because they actually don't share that many traits with them. Sure, the Trumps can mimic human words and probably paint pictures, but studies have shown that elephants can solve complex problems, and also that elephants are self-aware. Self-awareness tests for animals usually involve putting a little mark on their forehead and then showing them a mirror. If they try to touch the mark, it indicates that they understand the mirror is showing them a reflection of themselves. I'm fairly certain if you were to put an X on Donald Trump Jr.'s forehead and showed him a mirror, he would think he was looking at an evil twin of himself from an alternate universe and then try to shoot him with a hunting rifle so he could cut off one of his chins as a trophy. Due to that complete lack of self-awareness, Trump's administration has just reversed an Obama-era ban on importing elephant trophies from Zimbabwe and Zambia, where there are only about 100,000 elephants remaining in the wild. Obviously, the purpose of this is so that Trump's dipshit progeny can get their toy elephant tail home, but the stated purpose is so that more people will pay to go on tours to kill elephants, and those payments can then be put towards elephant conservation. This is like saying we're going to fix lung cancer by letting kids buy cigarettes and then giving the profits to the American Cancer Association. It doesn't work. And we know for a fact it doesn't work. Not just because of common sense, but also because countries have tried legalizing things like this before, like legalizing rhino horn, which led to a huge uptick in the number of rhinos being poached. Meanwhile, other countries have learned that they can make far more money in tourist dollars by protecting their native species from hunters and encouraging ecotourism. But hey, that's scientifically proven to work, and we know that the Trump family lacks the complex neocortex necessary to understand the data. If only they had more in common with elephants, perhaps they wouldn't actively contribute to the destruction of several truly remarkable species.